talking about pre-creation, then God is looking inside of the Torah. God is looking inside of all of these levels in order to be able to create the world. It's talking about Adam Kadmon. That's where all of this is beginning to take place. Yeah? That the Torah is the level of tropes and crowns and vowels and letters. And so Adam Kadmon, which we said yesterday, is the primal thought. Right? The Or Ein Sof is beyond thought. It's beyond details, multiplicity, diversity. It's just a simple light. That's what the Arizal says, that before anything existed, know that there was only the simple light of the infinite. And so now that a space has been created and now the light enters in, the very first aspect of creation is Adam Kadmon. Adam Kadmon is the primal desire to want to create the multiplicity and diversity that will be you and me. So Adam Kadmon we usually consider to be the original thought, the primal thought. I want to create a world, great. Now what do I want that world to look like? From the very beginning to the very end. That's what we call Adam Kadmon. That was the first thing that was created. And so now in order to be able to make all of the details possible, to be able to, what are the components that allows for multiplicity, for the diversity, for duality to exist, it's coming from this. Yeah? I mean, if you think about it, what is the vowels? The vowel, if you take a letter, the letter itself is just a simple letter. Wow, I am a horrible. It's a good thing I'm not a scribe. Right? Take the letter Aleph. Right? Take the letter Aleph, for example. Take the letter Aleph. That Aleph has no expression. It has no way of expressing its Alephness. It's just an Aleph. It's like a silent just block of, it's like just an Aleph. How do you bring the Aleph to life? How do you let the Aleph have some type of expression? What? Put a vowel in it. Put a vowel in it. What is the vowel doing? The vowel is giving it a unique expression, because when you give it the expression of kamatz, that is ah. Yeah? Or if I give it the expression patach, ah. Or if I give it the expression with the cholam, oh. Now what is that doing? It's essentially putting boundaries and limitations. It's saying the aleph will be expressed like this, but not like that. Before it had no expression, individual expression, all of the possibilities, all of the potential expressions were all, so to speak, hidden within it. But as soon as I want to reveal all the potential within the aleph, now I have to start putting boundaries. Now I have to start putting limitations. That's called gvura, that's called din. And that's the light of the vowels, which is saying it's going to be pronounced like this and not like that. O is O, and E is E, and A is A. Very unique and expressions. And so that's now going from a level of total simplicity, which was just the aleph, total simplicity. And now how do I move from simplicity to multiplicity, from unity to duality, from the oneness to diversity? I have to give it definition. I have to give it some type of character, some type of boundary. I have to limit it in some way, shape, or form. That's called a vowel. Yeah? And so you can kind of apply that also in us. Each one of us is like a letter. Meaning our souls have no expression. The letter, which is the soul, right? It's expressionless until it gets put into a body. And now it is that unique body with its unique characteristics and attributes and strengths and weaknesses that are, so to speak, like the vowels that will give unique expression to that letter. Because I'll let you guys in on a little secret. Your soul and my soul are one. We all have the same soul. However, my body, or what we'll call me, right, is the way that I can express the soul in a unique way. And you can express your soul. You can express the soul in a totally different way. And so it's the same letter, different vowels. Same soul, different bodies. Same light, different expressions. And if you understand that, if you internalize that, then what that does is first and foremost create incredible unity and a bond and appreciation for all living beings, because we're one soul. And you are expressing the soul in your way, and I'm expressing the soul in my way. And you're not better than me, and I'm not better than you. We're different. And different doesn't mean better or worse. It's okay to be different. What was the old U2 song? We are one, but we're not the same. Right? We're one, but we're not the same. And it's good that we're not the same. The whole purpose of this was in order to be able to create diversity and multiplicity and duality, but to still attain the consciousness of the unity within that duality, of the singularity within the multiplicity. You can kind of think of like East and West as like two totally polar opposites. That in the East, it's all about the singularity, it's all about the unity, it's all about the oneness. And in the West, generally speaking, it's very much about the external, about the vessel, about the multiplicity, about your own individual expression, right? Be an individual, right? And the Torah is giving us the ability to have the multiplicity, to have the duality, to have that unique expression, but to still have the integrated consciousness that each one of us is actually expressing one thing. That is the supernal will of the divine, that Hashem, the Creator, is being expressed through the prism of the universe. And when a person understands that, really understands it, integrates that, then that totally has a paradigm shift on how you perceive the world and the way you feel and the way you behave. Because it's not you versus the world anymore. Now everything is just an expression of the divine. And now it's about choosing to always be in alignment with the divine will. I'm not stealing the keys to the car and going where you want to go.
It's probably off topic, but what's the relation between we're all one soul and soulmate?
One soul and soulmate, meaning that every aspect of creation has something that it is supposed to connect to. Even though we're one, my wife is my wife, and I am going to have a relationship with her unlike all of the other women in the world. That's something that is still very important, because you could get into the whole, everything's one, and and we're going back into, think of 1960s San Francisco, where, hey man, what's yours is mine, and what's mine is yours, and let's just have a good time. My wife is your wife and whatnot, right? Right. That's called Sodom. That's Sodom and Gomorrah. There's no boundaries, there's no limitations. We want boundaries, We want definition, we want limitation, but we don't want those boundaries to create animosity and to create separation, but we want those boundaries and limitations to actually integrate unity into them. That I have my family and you have your family, and yes, we're all part of one whole collective cosmic family, body, soul. But my family is expressing that in a particular way, your family expresses it in a different particular way. And if you're talking about like the body itself, that you have different parts of the body. You have the heart, you have the lungs, you have the liver, you have the spleen, you have the aorta.
Thank God there's diversity.
And thank God there's diversity. There's
It
thank
was all
God.
spleens,
That's
you
right,
agree.
right? Imagine if like the DNA cells of the liver is like, I think I want to be a heart today. You're in big trouble, mister.
Yeah.
If your cell, the cells that are creating the liver, all of a sudden they want to be the diaphragm or the spleen or your pinky, you're in big trouble. We are dependent on the fact that the spleen is the spleen, the liver is the liver, the heart is the heart, your wife is your wife, my wife is my wife, everything, there is order, there's limitation, there's definition, there's boundaries, but there's total balance, there's total harmony, there's total alignment between all of those parts. That is the ultimate kind of purpose of what we call tikkun olam. To bring peace into the world means to bring all of the pieces and to make them whole again. Shalom comes from the word shalem, which means whole. To make something whole means you have to take a whole bunch of pieces and you make them whole again, right? Like the mosaic, or this, you see, you appreciate beauty is not if I just take the color red and just throw it on the wall. But beauty is the delicate balance and the relationship between colors, right? Music is not just taking, a random note and just, playing it again and again and again and again and again and again and again. Music, beautiful music, is the delicate balance and relationship between different notes. And so it is precisely those differences, when they all work in harmony with one another, that creates the beauty of the world. That's what we're shooting for. And so our goal is to understand how we are not in competition with one another. We are not separate from one another. We are different from one another, but we are not separate. And that we have to all bind together in unity, in unison, and then the world starts to look like a pretty awesome place to live. Huh? Amen. Ayom. I just heard the difference between, there's a rabbi was talking about once upon a time that the Jewish call for this idea of tikkun olam was bimher b'yameinu. We're waiting for Mashiach, right? And Mashiach should come when? Speedily in our days, bimher b'yameinu, right? And along came the Lubavitch Rebbe and changed the entire way we understand that. No, we want Mashiach now, not speedily in our days. No, right? Because speedily in our days could mean, I kind of have, I need to do a little bit of tshuva. I'm not 100%, so give me a 2-week notice. Give me a 2-week warning before Mashiach comes. I'll get my act together, and then Mashiach will come. Then I'm ready for him, right? But it's saying, no, I want it now. Yes.
Ready or not.
I want to be ready. B'ezrat Hashem. Try and be ready every day. Yeah.
What's up with 600,000 souls?
Good question. Not related to material.
But if there's like 600,000 expressions of one,
Right.
me
The 600,000 soul roots. We call them the 600,000 soul roots. And if you want those 600,000 soul roots, they all correspond to the 6 middle sefirot, Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, Yesod. Meaning that each one of those has a unique individual expression. And again, in the coming chapters, when we're talking about the breaking of the vessels, we're talking about now creating multiplicity, creating diversity, creating different attributes and characteristics, and now seeing, can you all get along with one another? And here the answer to that question is no, absolutely not. I am me and you are you, and if you are not like me, you don't think like me, then we can't hang out together. Yeah? That's called breaking of the vessels. That's called the world of chaos, Olam HaTohu. But the goal is to be able to have that multiplicity, but to bring harmony and to appreciate the differences. And that you can be you and me can be me, and we can all
Serve Hashem together.
serve Hashem together. Yeah.
A Sunday king, they wouldn't be more at that level where they can see all this and put it together a lot easier than I'm sitting here and doing.
The tzaddikim do it because they're not like totally rooted like in their soul. They're called Einei Ha'edah. Einei Ha'edah is like, it's coming from the world of Chokhmah. So if you think about it like this, like, so we didn't actually talk about this. There's the breaking of the vessels, straight. There's the breaking of the vessels, and we said, we didn't talk about this yet, but we have the Keter, we have the Chokhmah, and we have the Bina, that they were strong enough to not break.
Baruch Hashem.
Yeah, but the Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, Yesod, and Malchut, they were not strong enough, and so they did break. And so the way we understand this, psychologically speaking, is that the children of Israel, or the regular people, they all represent these different attributes, and we're the ones that are trying to get our act together by being in peace with one another. Whereas the tzaddikim, they're rooted in the Keter, Chokhmah, and Bina. They have the consciousness to be able to see things from that state of unity. They are able to see how it's all integrated into the one expression of the divine. So they don't get into the same, conflicts and disputes that normal people get into. Like, why did you cut me off on the highway, or all those things. They're above that.
What highway?
What
What
highway?
you?
So,
What happened to the eighth king?
I'm not going to give away all the secrets, but
We got more learning to do.
the eighth king is what after the vessels have been broken, and now pretty much the stage has been set for multiplicity, diversity, duality to exist, and now ego feels separate and fragmented from everybody else. Now the eighth king comes along and now starts to help us to be able to unite once again.
What's the other question you should ask about the eighth king? What does he have that nobody else had?
Yeah. Why did he die? Why did the first seven kings died? Why did he not die? But nonetheless, we see the seven kings as the world of chaos, the world of the breaking of the vessels, and the eighth king represents Alama Tikkun, the world of rectification.
He also had a wife.
And he's got a wife. Arizal will talk about the secrets of why he's called what he's called and why his wife is called what she's
right.
called.
That's right.
No, it's not good.
Till next time.